Ladies and gentlemen, what is up? Welcome to the Marvel booth at San Diego Comic-Con 2018! Woo! How many of you are excited for Marvel Spider-Man on PlayStation 4?
Seeing y'all all lining up.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here today. We have a special, very special event happening on this stage where we're going to be talking about the new suit that was just unveiled yesterday at Hall H.
Yeah.
I am Josh Soleil.
I'm LANGSTON Belton, and yes, that's right. Yesterday at Hall H, one of the big stars was Marvel's Spider-Man for the PS4, and not only that, they revealed the third of the three pre-order suits you get, the Velocity suit, right? Designed by legendary comic artist Adi Granoff, who of course designed Iron Man's Extremis suit, and that was later brought in, of course, right? Come on, give it up for the Extremis, right?
Yeah.
It's one of the coolest Iron Man armors ever. And then he was later brought in by Marvel Studios to help design the suit for Marvel's Iron Man that set this whole amazing 10-year journey off. So we're going to talk to Adi and some of the creators involved with Insomniac and Marvel and talk about the game and talk about this incredible, incredible new Velocity suit.
So let's go ahead and bring them out.
Y'all ready?
Y'all ready? First to the stage.
Ready? All right, let's do it.
Bill Roseman, Executive Creative Director at Marvel Games. Woo! Gavin Golden, Lead Character Artist at Insomniac Games.
Gavin.
Jacinda Chu, Art Director at Insomniac Games.
Yeah.
And the legendary comic book artist, Adi Granoff. Woo!
Thank you all so much for joining us. Let's have a seat on these nice swivel stools. It's nice to be able to turn into Bill. Bill.
Yes, sir.
Bill.
LANGSTON, how are you?
Good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome,
How's your
man.
convention going? How's your San Diego?
I tell you, I've been coming to San Diego Comic-Con many years. It's always an honor. It's always a thrill. I never, in my wildest dreams, thought I would ever be not only in Hall H, but up on a panel at Hall H, and there for such an awesome reason to share more awesome Spider-Man PS4 goodness with the good true believers of the world.
Yes, of course. Yes. So we talked about the new suits. So what was the thought process behind creating these new suits, and why was it so important to create new suits for this unique Spider-Man story that you're telling in Marvel Spider-Man?
That is an awesome question because it really spotlights the relationship between Marvel Games and Insomniac. And going into this game, it was always like, we love what you do. We want it to be your vision of Spider-Man. This is your game. And so we always want to add. We want to, of course, pack it with all the authentic details that Spider-Man fans know. But we want it to be fresh and new and exciting. And so when we started talking about the extra suits, the question came from, okay, we can make suits based on things that have appeared in comic books over the years, from the 60s till today. We can make suits based on what has appeared in MCU movies. And the question was, could we do an all-new suit? And we were like, yeah, that is like the perfect symbol of our relationship. And that's why it was so important to bring something new, something fresh, something unexpected, but still something very Spider-Man.
I know you're keeping very tight-lipped about the game. You're trickling out information, keeping us on beta, every beta word. So these new suits, especially the Velocities, are not purely cosmetic. Are they going to affect your experience within the game?
I can confirm, yes, that the suits do bring with them elements that impact your gameplay. And that's also a very important part of the game, is what we want this also. Not only is it Insomniac's vision of Spider-Man, in the game, it's your Spider-Man. You control him, you steer him, you level him up, you make choices, and the suits also bring about different elements of him, so you may choose them based on how you want to play. Do you want to be a stealthy Spider-Man? Do you want to have more power, more quickness? It all depends. So all I can say is, because we hate spoilers, we want people to experience the game and having that joy and finding out things on your own. So I don't want to reveal everything about it, but I can say that the name, Velocity suit.
Okay.
We put a lot of thought into that. We didn't just reach into a bag and, you know.
Velocity.
There it is.
So the suit is named very deliberately and accurately.
See, again, little trinkets of information to make us more excited for this game. And you talked about the partnership between Marvel Games and Marvel Games and Insomniac Games.
Yes.
What was that partnership like? What was that collaborative process, bringing ideas from both camps to the table?
What's so cool is their studio is about 10 minutes away down the road. And that guy, Brian Intihar. Let's hear it up for Brian. No, it is great. It sounds cheesy, but we truly view ourselves as one group, one family, and within moments of meeting the team, and which each day and week that went by, meeting more and more, it was a true gathering of people who look at things the same way, that are united in their passion and their dedication and their obsession with making the best Spider-Man game, the best Marvel game, the best Insomniac game, the best game, period. We are united in that. We are bonded by that. And it was so fun just to brainstorm, talk. Every day we're still talking back and forth, over the phone, in person, just shaping it together. But really, it's Insomniac's show. They're driving it. They're crushing it. We love them.
Yeah, Insomniac
It's been
Games.
awesome.
Now, you guys have such an all-star team. You mentioned Insomniac, you mentioned Marvel Games. Now you bring an even bigger all-star. What was the decision behind that?
So, many moons ago, before I came over to make games, I used to be an editor in New York City making comic books. And I was a big fan of Adi's. I saw his art on Iron Man, and we were all blown away of, wow, this person has illustrated an Iron Man that makes you believe it's possible, that there is a person in this suit. I can understand how it works, and the design is beautiful, and it brings that element of realism to it as well. And I think it wasn't just us, of course, in editorial. Everyone's eyes were opened, and soon Marvel Studios reached out, and it was so cool to see then Adi work with Marvel Studios and see him bring his awesome talent from comics to film. And when I was editing a comic book called Nova, this is back in like the mid-90s, and so I was asked to relaunch it, and Nova had just come out of this event called Annihilation, and he went into it. It was kind of his trial by fire. When Nova came out of it, he was a man, and he had all the power of the Nova Corps, and we wanted to communicate that this isn't the rookie, less powerful Nova. This is one of the most powerful people in space. And I thought, how do I communicate that this Nova is as strong as Iron Man? Oh, duh, I'll hire the Iron Man guy. So I asked Adi to do covers, and he did these awesome covers that are still being used today in trading cards and t-shirts, and I see them everywhere. So anyway, that's when I first started working with Adi, and when the time came to do this new suit, we thought, in addition just to getting a great artist that we knew would do an awesome design, it would just be that extra layer of authenticity, so that if you know who Adi is and you're like, they didn't just get an awesome artist, they got Adi. Like, this is legit. This is Marvel. And so that was our thinking of bringing in Adi.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what was the inspiration behind the suit, as well as the journey, how we got here today?
Well, it began with conversations, right?
All right, yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, when I was asked to do the suit, I was kind of thinking, okay, they have the classic suit, they have this awesome new suit, what can I do that adds to it rather than kind of just be just another version?
Yeah.
So it was, the thought process was basically like, what can I bring to this to make it, add to it and also be mine as well, where I can be like, okay, this looks like something I designed. So with all of this experience that, working on the movies and kind of understanding how making a suit design actually fit a real human, I kind of took all of that kind of experience and tried to create something that would be like a combination of my comic book work and the movie kind of aesthetic, and something that would fit, or at least, hopefully match the level that they've already established with the game from, all the materials that they showed me at that point. So that's kind of where it started.
I think it worked.
Yeah.
Or at least it's working so far.
How challenging was it to create a brand new suit, original suit for Spider-Man, who's been an iconic superhero since the 1960s?
This will probably, I don't know if it's a disappointing answer, but I kind of just take everything as it comes, and I'm like, okay, that's the thing I have to do. I'm going to try to make it as cool as possible, and I go for it.
Yeah.
And I don't really think like, the weight of history and all of that stuff.
I'm not burdened by the past.
No, I mean, the thing is,
I am a superhero.
when I worked on Iron Man, it was the same thing, and people ask like, how? And it's like, well, I just try to make it as cool for that moment in time as I can. And that's what I tried to do. And, then obviously it was a very collaborative process where, I would send designs, get feedback, and kind of, it kind of developed over weeks.
But I gotta say, he's being humble, because he's making it seem like it's really easy. But Spider-Man, I think, has probably the best designed costume, period. Period. So Adi has to understand the color scheme, the color blocking, the flow of his body. What costume works on Spider-Man that doesn't work on Captain America or Hulk or Captain Marvel? It's Spider-Man. So he says he's just gonna try and make it cool, but in his brain, he's processing all this information and coolness, and it comes out naturally to him. So that's how awesome he is.
No, that's awesome. Now, over on the Insomniac Games side, Jacinda, as art director, I'm sure not every suit that you wanted to put in the game got into the game. So what's the mindset for you and your team for a suit to make the cut to get into the game?
And for us, when we pick a suit, we think about what we would want as fans. Because there's a lot of either, obviously Spider-Man fans in the office. So we pick the suits that we like and the ones that we would like to play. And then we also want to make sure that there's a wide variety of suits as well. So we try not to pick suits that are like similar to each other. And we also try to find suits that are different materials. So, some suits will be shiny, metallic, some are matte, some are made out of a sweatshirt material if you're doing the homemade suit. So again, we want to just do like a wide range. And then from a technical point of view, the only thing that we don't do are things that we can't handle. For example, like if there's a lot of floppy bits, it may not work as well with our with floppy bits. Yes, floppy. It may not work as well with the gameplay. So. But otherwise, what we want is normally what we get. As long as, obviously, we run the ideas through Marvel, and if they're cool with it, then it gets in.
Awesome, yeah. And Gavin, so the Velocity suit, which looks amazing, is just one of the 3 suits you announced. You also announced the Spider-Man Punk suit, which has been around for a while. You've seen these kind of like different positions for it before, but the Velocity suit, you only had a 2D front and back image to work with. So what was it like inserting that 2D design into this amazing 3D world that you've created for the game?
Right. So a big thing for my team, especially because we're all fans of the game. I'm like a day zero Spider-Man fan. I don't have the underoos like Bill does, but but what we want to do is ultimate fantasy fulfillment. So anything that's like the materials rendering properly in the world, making it look like it really fits in our New York City, and really wanting to be that character. And with Spider-Punk, that's really easy because there's years and years and years of reference that we can look at and, kind of dissect what is his costume and how it's created. With Adi's suit, the Velocity suit, we only had that front and back, but Adi's work is so detailed and so just perfect, right? That it really made our job a lot easier. And just going back and forth with him, going back and forth with Marvel to get the proper material reads, making sure that it looks right in game and that it's responding how we'd want it to feel if we were Spider-Man.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah,
that's awesome. Now, what was it like to hear the words, "We're gonna go ahead and create a new suit" from the Insomniac Games side?
I think after I fainted and then came back, I was very excited, very, very happy. Yeah, especially with Adi, it's like,
And
thank you.
And what was it like from an Insomniac Games side to work with Adi? Like, how was that?
It was great. I mean, obviously, we're nerds, right? Huge nerds. So, man, getting to work with a legend, not to, blow smoke or anything, but to work with a legend, on a new thing that we know everyone's going to be excited about, it's a dream, right? But then on an actually, a technical level and, functioning as a unit, it was perfect. I mean, the work was, again, really helpful and, really easy to follow and making it look amazing in game.
Yeah, it does.
And Jacinda, if you could put in the journey of creating the suit and the time it took for the details, how would you talk about that?
Actually, I'm going to lob this back to Gav because he's the one who actually did the work. So.
So my team actually, Leroy Chen, if he's out there somewhere, worked on the suit and created that. And usually we take about a month. I don't want to get too much into the details of it, but it's about a month from beginning to end. And a lot of it, again, is the collaboration between us and Marvel, showing early prototypes and how it can look in game, and just really getting it playable early so that we know it feels right and looks as best it possibly can.
I think it does.
That's awesome. Well, we could talk about the suit for hours.
Yeah.
But what's better than talking about the suit than seeing the suit live right here on the stage?
You ready?
So let's go ahead and bring out Marvel Spider-Man, Marvel's Velocity suit, cosplayed by Aaron Riven.
It glows.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Thank you. So look at this is the Velocity suit.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to try to attempt to talk. It's. I can't imagine what it's like in here. It is a little bit stuffy. Aaron, when did you start cosplaying as Spider-Man?
About 8 years ago. I was just coming out of high school and decided to go for it. I've been a Spidey fan since I was about 4 years old, and it's been doing it ever since. This is version number 6 of Spidey that I've done over the years.
Awesome. So what's the process like when you put on a newer Spidey suit? Do you go through a process? Do you feel like, oh man, I want to stop some purse snatchers right now because I'm in a Spider-Man suit?
No, it's more like, if I had to explain it, it's like when you're a little kid and playing dress up, and it's like suddenly you get to see it in live action and in the real world, which is really cool. This version obviously is a whole nother beast entirely.
Of course.
This costume's insane.
Right? Yeah, I was gonna say, how does it feel to be cosplaying the Velocity suit? How does it compare to the other suits you've worn in the past?
It's not quite as comfortable, but there is definitely, like, when you get to see it in photos or in the mirror, it's a really cool suit, and it's cool to be a part of the creation of a new design of Spider-Man that's going to go down in the history of the character.
Right? Yeah, this is great.
Yes. So how is this, seeing this suit in person right now?
First of all, I want to get Adi over by the suit.
Yeah, let's get Adi over here.
We need
Yeah.
that photo op.
He's out there somewhere.
Meet your creation.
Your creator.
It's such a cool process. You know, just being, again, it's all about power and responsibility. The power we've been given to create the game, being allowed to make a new suit, we don't take that lightly. So that's our responsibility. If we're going to make a new suit, it's got to be worthy. It's got to be respectful of the past, but not afraid to shake it up. Do something new. Do something cool. Do something unexpected. Do something that will be remembered. That people will want when they play. Will look awesome. So, and then to be able to be here at San Diego Comic-Con on the stage,
yeah, right?
with everyone involved making the suit, and then the suit is here. It's so meta. It's blowing my mind.
Adi, how does it feel to be standing next to your Velocity suit?
Oh, it's amazing. I can't believe that it's, because I was only working on it like weeks ago, and it's here. So yeah, it's pretty surreal. I didn't actually realize they were gonna have it here until like a couple of days ago.
Really?
Yeah, and then I got some like documents about like what we were doing here. I was like, oh, there's an actual suit here. So yeah, it's pretty incredible.
It's cool to see y'all both together, and this is like the coolest thing about Comic-Con
totally
is like
geeking out.
all these we're all like nerding out, like looking at this suit. Like I want to talk to all of you, but I'm like, look, it lights
But
up.
look at these colors.
It lights
Look,
up.
it lights up.
It lights up. Well,
So I'm gonna rent it for Halloween this year. Is that okay? Yeah, great, cool.
Yes, done.
we'll see. Yeah.
Well, don't forget that you can get an early unlock of this suit plus 2 others and more with Marvel's Spider-Man exclusively for the PlayStation 4, coming out September 7th. Also, stick around for Marvel.com. Check out their website because there's going to be a new episode of Marvel's Becoming, Marvel's Velocity Spider-Man suit coming out soon.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you to Bill, Gavin, Jacinda, Adi, and of course, Aaron. Thank you so much for singing. Make sure to get Marvel's Spider-Man on PS4 on September 7th. Thank you so much, and be sure to stay tuned from all the cool stuff happening from Marvel here at San Diego Comic-Con 2018.
Woo!